What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and we are with the final part of the Raging Tactic reveals for Spike Brothers. So let's go through this video, and after that we will come back and talk about each and every card. But in this video we have the double R reveal, which is Gone Wild Wolf. First of all, the art looks really cool. Look at him going in there as a wolf, and all the armors and the colors are just perfect. Being the art as it is, has a marker, grade 3, 13k, it's worthy to be a double R. But then we talk about the skill, and I will explain to you guys why this card is not good, but Bushiroad made it with a good intentions. Okay, let's talk about him. He has the ability when he attacks, you Soul Blast 3 grade 3s. 3 grade 3s. You know that Deer Soul Blast only 2 grade 3s, and you know what Deer does? Like flop your field with the power rank crits. This card Soul Blast 3 grade 3s. And what he does is, you put any number of your Vanguards into your bottom of the deck. His skill activates on Vanguard or Vanguard, also very important. And until the end of the battle, when your opponent would call Guardians from her hands to the Guardian Circle, they have to call the same amount of cards as Vanguards you have put back to the bottom of your deck, or more. So to explain it right, you attack with him, you activate his ability, you Soul Blast 3 grade 3s, and you put 4 Vanguards back to the bottom of your deck. Your opponent has to guard with 4 cards or more, otherwise they cannot guard. And that's the idea behind the card, is to be a finisher, to be your last attacker, to be your all out going in there attacking your opponent. So let's say that your opponent has 3 cards in his hand, then you may activate the ability to put 4 Vanguards back to the bottom of your deck, and your opponent cannot guard that attack because they do not have 4 cards in hand. And that's the whole idea behind this card, actually being kind of the finisher. Then we talk about the uses and the skill. I gave him 1 from 5 and 1 from 5, and I will tell you why. First of all, talking about the skill, this should be the last attack, so the finisher. So if you draw him before that, he does nothing, because he needs to Soul Blast 3 grade 3s, otherwise he does nothing. Then some people would say, but there are a lot of good ways to put grade 3s to your soul with Spike Brothers. Yes, but why would you do that in the early game? Your opponent would have enough cards to guard him, and also your opponent could just take the attack even with force 2, or maybe, I don't know. Then you will empty up your field, so you're minusing a lot in the early game if you want to use him in the early game. If you want to use him in the late game, then you need to draw into him, have him there, maybe in your hand or chilling, and it's a dead card until that moment come when you could finally use the skill. Okay, cards that puts cards from your hand to the soul, so you could soul charge those grade 3s. One of them is Ronaldo, other one is Gyroslinger. Gyroslinger is a card that we do not use anymore. I do not use anymore. Ronaldo is a good card that you could put grade 3s. But that would mean that you're losing your Banner Draggers, your VRs, your Juggernaut Maximums, whatever you want, to your soul if you want to do that. Then some people would argue you could use Juggernaut Maximum to Soul Blast with this card. Yes, you could. But again, how many copies of this you want to put in your deck? 2 or 1? And then draw into him into the right time? Call him with a Ronaldo maybe? I don't know. But how I see this card is it has no synergy with the deck. It was supposed to be a finisher, but it should have not been that way. Spike Brothers did not need a finisher that is gimmicky, that works. It's iffy. Sometimes it does, sometimes you draw into him way early, sometimes you have to write into him as your first right target, and then it does nothing. If you compare him or combine him with cards like Bull Spike abuses soul, they need a lot of soul. Even when you ride into a new grade 3, you do need the soul to move your markers around, and with Gone Wild Wolf right here, you have to keep your grade 3s in your soul, you have to Soul Blast 3. So I could see this card seeing plays, some people would play him, but people would not understand why this card is bad if they try to play him. And there are a lot of good things about the card, like it does open up your field, so you could compare him very well with cards like Picaro or something, to attack with your whole field, then attack with this card, then empty up your whole field, and then attack with Picaro and recall everything. It's kind of a finisher if you like. You could abuse him with the GB8, and you could run 1 copy or 2 copy of him in the turbo deck. If you ride into him, it has a marker, so that's okay, and you could call him as a last attack or second last attack. With that, you Soul Blast the 3 Grey 3s. You put a lot of Vanguards back to your deck, like Tier, like Wonder Boy, like cards that you plus from when you have them in your deck. This card could put them back to your deck, and with that, you have some pluses out of him being putting cards back to your deck, so you could recall them, and at the same time, your opponent has to put so many cards from their hand to guard him. But yet again, in Premium, your opponent could just G-guard, and that's not guarding from hand. So with that, they could play around this card. So what's bad about this card? Well, the cost. The cost is way too heavy. Soul Blasting 3 Grey 3s is way too much for Spikebrot to handle, especially with the new mechanic that uses a lot of soul. In the early game, he does nothing, and then as in consistency, you need to draw into him in the right timing, otherwise this card is kind of a dead card in your hand. So in my opinion, the first bad designed card. It just does not fit into the Spikebrot theme. They wanted to give Spikebrot as kind of a guard restrict, but they ended up with a card that is not a finisher, that is not good enough. If they gave us cards like the one from Grand Blue or Dimension Police that gives an extra drive check, that was good, that supports the deck, and also when you ride into him he gains power, so that was good, but otherwise nah. And that's actually for the whole video, a bad design card. Then we have the Perfect Guard. A lovely art, it's really cool. You can see her charging in and having that the energy around her, and I do like her, but the thing is, we will get this, each clan is getting this, so there is no commentary from me on it. It's not a card that you would play in Spike, because in Spike you will not discard your hand that easily to draw new ones. You have a lot of better right targets than this, especially from the new set, 2 better right targets as in Devil and Punter, so there is no reason to get this, but again, each clan is getting it, so no complaints. Then the Great 1, 9k no shield. Nah, this is something that you will not use in Spike. It does not make your number better. There is just no reason to run it, and especially because you have the 10k Great 2, so the card that I was hoping to get is the 15k shield 7k. That's a card that you could use in Spike because it's kind of more shield value, and that's pretty cool. I mean, some of us still use the Grade 2 15k shield if in the, like, let's say before we get this support. So this is a card that we could have used, but the one that is no shield 9k, it's good for Excel clans, not for Force clans. And I know that the 15k shield was normally made for the Protect clans, but we can see that Excel clans getting those. So that was the card that I would have given to Spike, and not the 9k no shield Grade 1. Then we talk about the Grade 2, and this is the very stupid thing, because Spike was getting the same treatment as the Dimension Police, as they got the 9k no shield and the 10k body as the Grade 2. The stupid thing about the Grade 2 is we already got that, so there is just no reason to give Spike a same common yet again. And the cards that I was hoping to get is the 12k no shield or the 3k 2 crits. The 3k 2 crits would have been crazy good, because you could abuse that with cards like the GB8 in the early game. You could give them a lot of power, you could use them with Force 1, and you kind of have Force 2. So the 3k 2 crits is a card that I will be waiting in the future to get. And the 12k body is also good because you could ride into her or him or whatever the art would be like, and with that your opponent would have a hard time to get into you. Also the 12k is nice to attack into something when you have like an 8k booster behind it and you make the 20k column and you could hit Vanguards. It's just good. The 10k body, 10k shield is something that we have already got. There is no reason to give us that yet again. Bushido, I don't understand the way that you're thinking, but if you're watching this, try to give the clans something that they don't have so they could work with it, like a toolbox. Now, you're giving us a great one that it does nothing for force clans, and you're giving us a grade 2 that we already have, and there's just no reason to do that. It's just a waste of paper in my opinion. Then we have the SVRs and the SPs. The first is of course our SVR, which is full spike. I would have to say it looks amazing. I'm very happy with the background color being just the colors of Sparklers, and also if you have seen his sleeves, the colors that are around the sleeves are also the same purple color, so that's really cool. One thing I don't like about it, some people have already pointed that out, is that it said Dead Heat full spike, and in my opinion there is no reason to reprint the name of the card on the card. Just put something in there that is like the flavor text or something that he's saying, or a charge, or motivation speak, I don't know, but something that fits with the card and not just the name of the card, because you will have bull spike, then you read the skill, and then you have bull spike it again, so that's pretty stupid in my opinion. In the Japanese, it does look nice because you have, of course, the name, his name in the Japanese, and then you have the English name as well. So that's pretty cool. But in the English, that would just be two of the same, so there's no reason to do that. But I'm very happy with the way he looks. About the SVR, just fits. It's better than the one from the last set that we've got, like the first wave of support. Then we have our Bad and Dragger. I would have to say I'm very happy that Bad and Dragger got the SP treatment, but we expected that. He looks really cool. You can see the claws, pretty cool. And this is one of the cards I will definitely play, especially in Premium. So I will be very happy to get 4 copies of him in SP. And you guys could help me out with that. But yeah, it's just amazing to see him in SP. And the last 2 cards that we have seen is Ronaldo and Gunwolf. Well, I did expect to see Ronaldo, of course, and I did also expect to see Gunwolf, but I was happy if they would have made something else, the SP, than Gunwolf, because again, it's a card that we will not use, at least not that much. And because of that, I was hoping that something else gets the SP treatment, like the Great One or Rides. When he attacks, he hits, you could draw a card, the Devilish, or the Devil. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the SPs. I'm very happy with the Ronaldo, with Wolf Spike, and Bad and Dragger, less happy with Gunwolf, and I said that I will be very angry if we got this in SP, but on the other hand, my wallet is kind of okay with this. Okay, so these will be all the cards that we have got. On the left, you will have the cards that are less good, and then in the middle, you will have the cards that, let's say, are pretty nice, but not the best, could have been better. And then on the right, you will have the cards that are amazing from the set. So first, we have the cards that are less good, as we've seen right here. Some of the reprints, like the Draw Trigger, like the Tiara Crit and the Silent Joker. The same for Mega Trainer, we have the same art. There was just no reason to do that. They should have given us different art. Then for the Great 1 and the Great 2, I've talked about them. The 10k 10 power shield, is just no reason to add that because we've already had that and we never played him. The 9k Great 1, no reason to add that. The PG, we have to add that, but there is no reason to do. Then we have the Great 1, which gets a 10k whenever a marker is chilling on the bottom, beneath him. It's a good card, you could use him, you could move him up, but with cards like Wonder Boy and stuff, you will not use him. And then of course we got the Great 3 Common, which is a card that is also very stupid to run, especially with the new mechanic, so I could see people try to make a deck out of him, but it will not be as consistent, as good as the other cards. Then we finish that whole list off with Gun Wolf, as in my opinion it's still a very bad design card. Then for the cards in the middle that are very good, should have been better, could have been better, in the future they will be better. The Critical Trigger, I love the art, so I'm very happy to get her, but with my testing there was no reason to run the 12 crit, especially in the new deck. Then we have the Kyoto. He is amazing, but in premium, not in standard. And the same as Gunwolf, it's a card that you will not be able to use that easy in standard. Also, he does kind of empty up your whole field, the same again as Gunwolf. That's why I expected to have a finisher that calls a new field or something, because Gunwolf and Kyoto, both of them just empty up your whole field. Then we have the double rare grade 2. It's a card that is understandable that they would add it, but in my opinion would be less used than the other cards. Then we have the grade 1 that for the counterblast she could draw you a card, but again that card that you have in front of her that she boosts needs to have a marker and does cost a counterblast. So I could see her being played with decks like that add in Panther, but most of all your counterblasts could be better used than with her. And then we have of course Big Hands, I think, or Big Blow, Ted right there. He's a very good card in premium, but less good in standard, especially because you still have your Wonder Boy, and your Wonder Boy would be your better choice because he do put himself up to the soul, and because he could put anything except a grade 1 from the drop zone back to your deck, and Ted right here could only put grade 2 and higher, so that's an important fact to remember. And then we have the best support, or the support that we have waited for, and the support that was amazing. First we could talk about Battling Dragger. It's an amazing card in premium and really good in standard, and this card will see a lot of plays, and I would need a lot of copies of him, especially 4 of the SPs and then the rest. Then we add all the others. We have Bull Spike, we have Ronaldo, we have Needle, we have Devil, we have Punter, and of course we have the grade 2 that Soul Blast himself or a draw. These are all the cards for the set, and I'm looking at this, I'm really happy with the cards that we have got. Actually the last 2 days were the cards that's like we didn't need, like the Wolf, the grade 2s, the grade 2, the grade 1 and the PG are the last reveals like for this video. That was disappointing, but all the others were really good, and I could like use them. Even the grade 3 common in the top corner left, it's a card that you could like make a deck around him. And Gunwolf on the other hand, for a double rare, it's kind of a finisher for Bushiroad's idea, was not good enough. And that's kind of it for this video. I would like to thank you guys all for the love and the support you give to our channel. And now you could finally expect us to do deck profiles, because now we have all the cards revealed. I'm testing a lot with the deck, and the deck is really amazing. Like, you can compare it with the deck that it was before, and the deck is pretty cool. I mean, Bull Spike by himself is a card that makes a big difference in standard. The draw, the retirement is a good nice addition to his ability, and also just the fact that you could move the markers around. Like, I've played a deck that runs 3 copies of Bull Spike and 3 copies of General Siegfried, and you go to Bull Spike first, you use his ability to move your marker around, and then you go to Siegfried and finish up your opponent. After that, you could do whatever you want. You could go to Bull Spike again if you have Force 1, but mostly you do Force 2, and that would be amazing. If you run a deck more about Battling Dragger and Bull Spike, then you could use Force 1. Battling Dragger is a really nice addition, comes out of your soul, retires a whole column, and also could put like your triggers back to your deck. Also, Battling Dragger is an amazing card in premium, because he also puts cards from your field back to your deck, like with tier and stuff. It's definitely a card that you will run at 4 of in your GB8 build, and I would be definitely happy to have the SPs for that build, because It's my favorite build. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I would like to thank you again for watching, and remember to check our videos, the video from the deck profile that I have made you before, and you could expect a new video now, but in that video I showed you how the deck would work. Okay, check that out. Until next time.